From the Music City to the Magic City, we just crowned a champion in the SEC, the Arkansas Razorbacks, and today we are crowning the final champion of Champ Week in Birmingham, Alabama. It's #1 USF against #2 Wichita State. Alongside John Crispin, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Marilyn Payne joining us as well. John, USF features a big three that keys their offense.
It's a big three that fits the style in terms of the way they want to play. They're going to get up and down the floor. They're going to space it. They're going to shoot quick threes, and that's part of what gives them the pace that they want. But one of the things we don't talk enough about is the fact that that pace is matched with intensity. The intensity starts and probably ends with Isaiah Nelson. So a great complementary big three. Brian Hodgson has to be happy with the group he's been able to assemble in year one.
As for the Shockers, one of the most electrifying talents in the game, Kenyon Giles.
Buckle up, that's all I can say. Any shot you think is a bad shot, he'll make them. That's just the type of player he is. One of the most difficult guys to prep for because you don't have anybody on your roster that can simulate what Kenyon Giles is able to do. Absolute bucket getter. This is going to be a fun one.
Both teams are 13-2 in their last 15. The Shockers, winners of 7 straight. The Bulls have won their last 10. The Bulls are in their home whites. The Shockers in the road blacks. And the #1 seed in the American Conference controls the opening tip. These two teams split the regular season series. An overtime affair saw the Shockers win on the road. Then USF returned the favor in Wichita. Joe Pinion opens the scoring in the championship game.
It's too easy, mainly because Wes Enos lost a shoe, which means you're playing 5-on-4, and Joe Pinion's able to get a wide open layup along the baseline.
Your officials today, Doug Shouse, Pat Adams, and Owen Short. Oh. And right off the bat, Wichita State hits on their first field goal attempt. Any open shot is a good shot for USF, right, John?
Especially if you can create a little rhythm before you get it. And that's what they do really well. They create rhythm with their pace and their attack.
Both of these teams more similar than different. They both offensive rebound at an elite level. They both play really gritty, stingy defense as well.
So only one of them has an Isaiah Nelson and the other one has a Kenyon Giles.
Here's Petit. Now Karan Boyd. Boyd 2 feet in the paint, got it to go.
Good start for Wichita State, just being able to get there off the bounce with physicality, a sit down and rise up.
C.J. Brown, a downhill driver at the point guard spot, misses off the window. It goes out of bounds, and it's going to be Wichita State basketball.
And you mentioned both teams do a good job getting on the offensive glass. For one team, it's kind of the tough shot taking from Kenyon Giles. Unanticipated shots often favor the offense on the glass, and on the other end, the pace and the ball movement and the spacing gets defense out of position. And when shots go up for USF, you got to know you're going to have Isaiah Martin all around the rim.
Both teams love to crash the glass, 3rd and 4th respectively in the nation in rebounding their misses, and most of the time they convert that into points. Here's Petit, chest to chest with Pinion. And good help on the double team by Nelson. 10 on the timer. Keep your eyes on the man with the ball. Kenyon Giles off the mark on his first shot, and the first rebound for Isaiah Nelson.
The question you might ask, is that a good shot? Well, not for you, but it is for him. The problem is when that shot goes up, you have to be ready because South Florida's coming right in your kitchen.
Josh Omajafo, who's had 2 good games against the Shockers. And Wes Enos clears for the Bulls. 100+ threes for both Wes Enos, 2 in white, and #5 in white, Joe Pinion this year.
I think South Florida's really difficult when their guards rebound and they run.
Good patience by the unanimous Conference Player of the Year, but it rolls off the rim for Isaiah Nelson. Petit, blocked by Nelson. Omajafo had it taken away by Giles, out of bounds. It remains Bulls basketball.
This is just good backside defense, and I like Petit just trying to be physical. The problem is the backside's just going to wipe it away, and that leads to a run out, just a missed opportunity because Kenyon Giles, a bit of a ninja type strip there. That's not an easy position to be in when someone's dribbling right at you. He didn't mind it.
First block of the game for Nelson. He already has a rebound. That's why he is the undisputed leader in blue-collar points, something that the Bulls track every single game. Pinion, he's got another bucket.
Yeah, they set so much of that up because you're concerned with their three-point shooting ability, so you're going to hug up on a guy like Joseph Pinion, and then he makes the right read, back cut, good timing, easy finish.
What a terrific year from Wes Enos. He's got the steal and the lay-in.
I think something Brian Hodgson wants people to know more about is their defense. They are tough. They talk about blue-collar point, but like, you value what you celebrate. What do they celebrate the most? Those blue-collar points. It's not the threes that they hit, not the points that they score.
He says we're going to be fast-paced, but hard-nosed at the same time. Here's Petit. 5 on the shot clock for the Shockers. And a foul on the floor.
It's all about the setup, right? You're so concerned with the shooter coming off of a down screen, so you're going to hug up on the shoulder. You've got to take away back cuts while doing so. It's really difficult. This is a good defensive team.
USF combined for 19 steals in the 2 games in the regular season against Wichita State. And now Will Berg checks in, the American Conference 6th Man of the Year, and the only 7-footer on the floor right now.
It's a hard one to miss.
Number 44 in black, USF in the midst of a 6-0 run to take an early 8-4 lead in this American Conference title game.
Well, they've done it with good offense, but it's really been their defense so far that has established the game.
Gray inbounds to the 7-footer Berg.
How Wichita State gets Kenyon Giles the basketball, where he gets it, and whether there's space is going to determine a lot.
Here's Berg. Now he's checked by the reserve Damian Collins, and Collins knocked it away. Boyd got it back. Good feed to Dylan Petit for an easy 2. Freshman Gavin Hightower, 9 and white, running the point now for Brian Hodgson. Enos had his pocket picked by Giles. Left-handed layup, he switched to his right and got it to go.
Good way to get Giles going. He's been good defensively to start. You don't see a ton of defense from him. I think his offense stands out so much, but he is crafty, great hands around the ball.
That ball nearly thrown away. Here's Hightower. Giles guarding Enos, a pair of flamethrowers going chest to chest. 5 on the clock. Here's Pinion. Driving in on Boyd. Can't get it to go, and the Shockers clear. A chance for them to take the lead.
Good physical start for Wichita State on the defensive end. They've made it difficult.
Gray absorbed the contact. Now he's double teamed. Nowhere to go. And it's a tie-up, and the possession arrow is going to go to the Shockers, who are hanging tight.
If Kenyon Giles isn't really going early, you've got to be able to manufacture easy points. Great steal in the backcourt, easy layup, and then Kenyon Giles hasn't really gotten shots to fall. Little strip and an easy finish to start.
An American Conference tournament title in their sights.
This is a very connected team, and it's not a coincidence that we're here.
This time of year, you just got to find a way. We found a way. You just keep going.
Whatever it takes, we play to that final buzzer.
Fires it up there. Hits it. It all comes down to this.
Chalk has survived and advanced to the American Conference Finals. The top-seeded Bulls, a program record for most regular season wins. Brian Hodgson doing a fantastic job. For more on that, let's go to Marilyn Payne.
Brian Hodgson is also confident coming into today's American Tournament final because he says our team has the 4th longest win streak in the country. So never mind that his name is the biggest one in many coaching search conversations around the country. He says we have to just show up and do what we've all done all season. That is guard, be unselfish, and rebound. That's all that matters. We haven't had to say anything else.
Yeah, Maryland, they have been elite rebounding. The only issue is, so has Wichita State.
I think the biggest key to that rebounding, that toughness, that defense is that it allows you to play the way you want to play on offense. I think there are a lot of teams out there that want to play fast, but if you can't protect your own basket, if you can't guard, maybe not defend as a team, but just guard the ball, you're not going to be able to play freely on the offensive end. That's going the other way.
Offensive foul called on Damian Collins, the 5th-year senior out of Atlanta, Texas.
And they're looking to clean up screening. I typically like when rules favor the offense, but I think it's something big to clean up. That's why you see everybody just ghosting screens. You show and you break it off, particularly late in games because you can't afford that late foul.
I think there's a sense of urgency for Brian Hodgson. Collins committed that foul. He's now on the bench. Isaiah Nelson back on the floor, 35 in white, the unanimous Conference Player of the Year. Loose ball, and it's going to be Bulls basketball.
I think if you're Brian Hodgson, you have to maximize the time on the floor for Isaiah Nelson. He's got a crazy motor. He plays hard. He's not the biggest guy on the floor, but he plays much bigger than he actually is. And you have to do that while also maximizing his impact. That means you got to watch rotations and really have a good feel for when he's getting worn down and when he's losing a step. Can't allow fatigue to pick up fouls.
Hodgson leads with intensity, but leans on analytics. And in analytics, the best shots are threes and dunks, and we just saw one of them.
I'll tell you, you're 7 foot tall and you're anywhere near the rim. Put a target on your chest. They're coming after you.
He's closing in on 80 dunks this year as Isaiah Nelson. The Bulls have a chance to extend their lead. Enos for 3. This Bulls offense comes at you in waves.
You see gang rebounding defensively for Wichita State. Clearly, they are bought into one shot only.
Look at this, the trap at half court. Made Giles get rid of the ball. Here's Gray. Pull up, tough 2. And Enos fighting for the ball. Great effort by Wes Enos. Left alone, Isaiah Jones off the mark. But the long rebound to Pinion. And again a steal from Giles.
Neither team has really found it yet. This could be big. Nope.
A little bit of a feeling out process, like a heavyweight fight.
I wrote that down when we got the under 16 stats. You just said feel out type of start.
C.J. Brown goes right at the big man Berg, and Will Berg whistled for his first foul.
We like highlights, especially on a championship Sunday. This is just good execution. If you're Will Berg, you're going to be played flat. If you get caught lobs over the top, it's going to force adjustment in terms of how you defend that ball screen. I always say, guards, you have to become unscreenable. That starts before the action. You've got to get in, push that offensive player off his line, can't let him turn a corner. You put Will Berg in a bad spot.
C.J. Brown at the line when they played each other the first time this year, 16 points, 8 assists, and 1 dime. Maryland?
Isaiah Nelson told me pregame, I take a lot of pride in the fact that we have to win this title in the paint. As big men, you imagine the paint is your home, and you've got to protect your home. So I like that Wichita State's got a strong inside game, and that I have to beat that to get this trophy today.
Yeah. Problem is there's a 7'2" redhead in there.
Well, just
it's a lot of effort.
Yeah, to piggyback on Maryland's point, they have 11 points to South Florida. 10 of them have come in the painted area.
Now that's good. They're going to run them off. Wichita State's going to run them off the three-point line. You've got to be able to capitalize with the open floor by getting inside the paint.
As for Wichita State, same thing. 8 points in the paint. Another steal from the Bulls defense. And Omajafo a little loose with the basketball, turned it over.
And Kenyon Giles has to get the ball back into his hands. And I understand maybe having him play off the ball. I just think he's best when he initiates, flows through, and gets it back. I have a feeling one's going up, though.
Here's the double team. And he turned it over. Here's Enos on the left side. Pinned. And Omajafo knocked it out of bounds. It should be Wichita State basketball. Timeout on the floor, 11:45 to go. High-level basketball with the top 2 seeds in the American Conference duking it out. And now for tonight's Experts at Work, brought to you by Principal. What you got, John?
Well, before the game, Brian Hudson said, you guys said something in the broadcast yesterday that we don't want to deal with Kenyon Giles. And I think they've had a good answer for him. Blow it up, ambush Kenyon Giles. Don't let him get comfortable. Send 2 at the basketball, get it out of his hands, and then do not allow yourself to be screened. Cut through that screen. Wes Enos with a steal and a layup. They clearly have a plan for limiting Kenyon Giles. The only points he had came off of a steal and a layup in transition.
Again, everyone talks about this Bulls offense, but this defense is fierce. Here's Nelson, double teamed along the baseline, gets it out to Enos. He is always in range for a 3-point attempt. Trey Kindle knew that and fouled him.
Rich, I would tell you this. I think their offense allows them to play with high major teams in the NCAA tournament. Their defense allows them to win games. And that's something when your offense is so good, you forget it's actually a battle when you're playing against this group. Both sides of the floor are a great challenge.
Now Omajafo. Pinion, 3, off to the left. And we have a foul on the floor. It's going to be on the Shockers.
Such good action run offensively, and when good things happen on one side of the ball, you get lost on the opposite side, and then there's an unanticipated shot, and USF is in position to rebound.
Marilyn, what you got?
Paul Mills told his Shocker team at the timeout, we have to do what we talked about doing today. We have to be tough. We have to remember who they are and who we are. Get more physical down low.
Here's Omajafo, showed 3, goes to the baseline, and Will Berg erases it with a block. 6th in the conference in blocks per game is Will Berg. Now Berg on offense, swatted away, but a goaltending call on Nelson.
I kind of like that play if I'm Nelson. I know it's goaltending, but it's just reminding you that I'm right there. But Will Berg on the other end took an easy one away. I should say define easy.
Enos off the curl. That's Pinion. Now Omajafo with the left hand gets it to go.
It's a little unorthodox, but it went in.
Every field goal in the game has come from inside the painted area. Here's the double team. Tried to shovel it inside to Berg, but turned it over. That's turnover number 6 for the Shockers.
Kenyon Giles has been decoy for too long. He's got to get involved.
Enos found the seam, had the shot altered by Berg, but they're going to call a Wichita State foul.
I do think there are times where you can play 4-on-4 basketball with Kenyon Giles as a decoy. 4-on-4 basketball with a guy like Michael Gray on the floor who's not on the floor. He can get to the basket and really make your day difficult, but Kenyon Giles sets that up. You've got to do more to at least get him a catch in space and let him do something. You go too many possessions without the best player on the floor touching it. That's a problem to me.
And on the other end, you have Wes Enos, who all he needs to do is see one ball go through the hoop, and it's go time for him. Well, Wes Enos and his backcourt mate, Joe Pinion, dominated yesterday. When you include Isaiah Nelson, they combined for 64 points.
Just 10 threes, no big deal.
Yeah, they went to combine 10 for 21 against the Charlotte 49ers in their semifinal win.
Now Charlotte got here, they fought to get here. I mean, really just a gas team. But they ran into the buzzsaw that is the defense of South Florida, but also a high and potent offense.
We are halfway through the first half in this American Conference Championship. South Florida out to their largest lead right now, 5.
I think you'd agree that neither team has really found the game yet. They're competing, but they haven't really established the game.
The inbounds nearly picked off. And Hodson wanted a backcourt violation, but Pat Adams explaining why it wasn't. Giles, great find. Nice pass to Petit underneath.
That's what I've been asking for from him. Just, you're going to draw so much. Who's going to be open? That was a terrific find and cut.
An early 6 points for Dylan Petit. Pinion, tough 2, no.
That's a tough one for Nelson. He's got to be careful picking up fouls that really don't matter. But this is why you get Giles involved. You get him involved so you control defense. He's got gravity. He's a planet. There are moons around him. They're called defenders. The more he gets the ball, the more everybody lifts towards him. There's 2-3 guys there staring at the basketball. Little back cut, easy dunk. That's how basketball should be played, but you've got to utilize the best on the floor.
If you were a planet, what planet would you be, Kenyon Giles? I'm guessing Mercury would be his guess.
I don't know who has the most moves.
Small and quick and red hot. Gray, pocket pass, blocked by Nelson. It's his second block of the game. And a foul called on Wichita State. Not only was the unanimous player of the year and the newcomer of the year, he's also showing why he was the defensive player of the year.
It's a combination of good instincts, but also a high motor. He rotates to the basketball. He goes straight up. He is so active on both sides of the floor. It allows them to be who they want to be in terms of identity.
USF won for their last 7 from the field. Here's Nelson working on a Corafor. Now the point guard Brown. C.J. Brown, no. Nelson taps it up, gets it back. A fresh 20 for the Bulls. Here's a 3 attempt from Nelson. Isaiah Nelson from deep.
How many blue-collar points did you think he just picked up?
That is just
a rebound, kick out, then gets the ball in the opposite 3. Great find, good finish.
First 3 of the game and just his 7th all season, John.
Pretty good. And this is just effort. We're going to pay off the blue-collar points. It's a big deal. I always say, you value what you celebrate. They celebrate. They celebrate those blue-collar points, and he's the king of them. Great find, kick out. Yeah, I don't know if this is the shot you want, but I'll take it if it goes.
Isaiah Nelson drawing a lot of interest from NBA scouts and general managers this year.
But also, good job by Brian Hodson, just giving him a break, keeping him fresh, particularly since he's got that 1 foul. The second you get tired, you often get a step behind the play, and that's often what picks up the next foul.
Adrenaline always runs high with these guys, but higher than ever in a championship game.
It's got to be hard as a coach to be so disciplined to get him out of the game when you never want to take him out.
3 subs, 2 starters on the floor for Brian Hodson now. One of those subs, Isaiah Jones. Here's Giles for 3. Short. Now Enos.
That's what they do.
Offensive rebound. Hightower pulls the trigger. And Petit clears for the Shocks.
Interesting lineup for South Florida. Smaller group without Joseph Pinion and, Pinion and Isaiah Nelson. Maybe a more defensive lineup.
And a timeout called. A little frustrating offensively for both teams. But it's the top-ranked Bulls with a 6-point lead. Let's take a look at tonight's Player Spotlight, brought to you by Cintas.
Oh, it's Player of the Year, Defense Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, Isaiah Nelson. I understand it might be difficult to establish the game early, but if you're not finding it, you've got to establish yourself within the game that's being played, and this has been a tough physical contest. Isaiah Nelson's been the guy. He's also been the guy in the huddle.
This dude does it all for this team, even when he's on the bench, Marilyn.
He went right back over to the group. You saw the shot there as the Bulls put their small lineup back on the court and said, here's what you're going to do. When they start to offensive rebound, you go like this. And he put his elbows out, kind of twisting his torso, showing these smaller guys how to use their body the way that he does. He says, when you get the board, you can pull it out. If it's your offensive rebound, reset it. They're going to start getting more aggressive. Take your time down low.
Both teams have been super aggressive in the painted area. 24 of the 30 points scored from inside the paint.
That's the best look Kenyon Giles has gotten all night, just off to the right. Bet he shoots the next one he gets.
So far, Giles, one of the top scorers in the conference, 1 for 4 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. And he has not just logo range, but gym range. So does Wes Enos, and Enos hasn't hit a 3 either.
I think there's this different adjustment to shooting well in a physical contest, and it may take a few minutes in this game, may take the whole first half.
Here's Petit for 3. He's been the star of the first half for the Shots.
He's been really good cutting off the ball, and Kenyon Giles is going to draw so much. A good back cut will open you up.
First 3 of the game for Wichita State. Enos nearly threw it away. What a save by Hightower, and now Enos gets to reset.
9 seconds on the shot clock.
Enos loose with the ball again. We've seen quite a bit of that so far in this first half, John.
Well, it's tough. I mean, you got to credit Wichita State and their defense. They have been locked in. They've been physical. They're not allowing South Florida to get comfortable. Shooters want to be comfortable. You want rhythm. You want to hear the music. And when you don't hear it, it's tough to make shots. Good defense for both teams to start.
And we saw this about a month ago on February 11th when they met in Wichita. USF won that game 66-58,
Yep.
the lowest point total for each team all year. Enos off the mark, and Petit clears for the Shocks.
Get the sense that at least this first half starts to feel more like a grind.
Who do you think that favors?
I would think it favors Wichita State, but the last grind, South Florida won.
Giles almost turned it over. Here's Petit with time running down. 5 on the clock. Inside of Corafor. Had it altered by Nelson. And a late foul is called.
There's going to be space for offensive rebounders for Wichita State because regardless of who's on Kenyon Giles, you're not leaving. So it's hard to send 5 to the defensive glass if you're South Florida. Whereas Wichita State, they've been gang rebounding. One shot, run the other way.
Here's one of Wichita State's bigs, 6'10", senior, Emmanuel Okorafor. A 69% free throw shooter. And Okorafor misses the first. We have you covered on Selection Sunday in just a few hours. It starts at 6 Eastern on SportsCenter with ESPN. Reese and the guys looking at the men's field of 68 as the brackets are announced, followed by bracketology and breakdowns of each region. Then at 8, the women's field of 68 revealed with a complete breakdown of each match at 9 Eastern. Okorafor misses both. And something tells you free throws are going to be at a premium today. Here's Okorafor in the paint, lost it. Good hands again by the Bulls defense.
Just wonder, you know, as an offensive team, you want to find the music. In a perfect world, it's jazz. This one's been a little bit more slam poetry.
The lob, the foul, count the bucket. What a pass by the freshman Gavin Hightower.
I mean, that was just a battle from one end to the next. That's the way the first part of this game has gone. I mean, first 15 minutes, really limited rhythm because of the toughness, the physicality, good defense. Good job by Isaiah Nelson not picking up a foul, and then you attack on the other end. Good find over the top, and what a finish. It has not come easy, but the more you can get lobs at the rim, the more you can back cut this defense early, you're setting them up for three-point opportunities later in the game.
Isaiah Nelson showing the full repertoire already in the first half offensively. He's got a couple of blocks on defense, but he has a three-point jump shot, a dunk, and now a layup.
Well, there are some games that might be Wes Enos and Joe Pinion. This is the way it's being played, more of Isaiah Nelson contest.
He has 18 double-doubles this year. Top 10 in the nation. Inside Berg. Berg hesitated and got fouled.
And South Florida really being aggressive with Isaiah Nelson, trapping to the point where they're all the way at the almost the half-court line, and then he's got to scramble back and get back to Berg. So you're putting a lot of pressure on your backside guys, and there's a lot of effort by Isaiah Nelson to get back into the play.
So now 2 fouls on Joe Pinion, 2 fouls on the point guard C.J. Brown for USF. Berg, nice touch from the big man.
This is just work. I mean, this is coming out hard, trying to just disrupt, kind of blow this up. He's all the way out, three-point line extended. He's got to get himself back into the play. A lot of pressure on the backside guys, and it ends up leading to Joseph Pinion's second foul. And the issue is, to me, Joseph Pinion hasn't really been able to establish himself in the game yet. And having to go to the bench for likely the rest of the first half, that's a problem.
So Will Berg cans both free throws. He has 4 points on the game. And the lead is just 3 for the #1 seed, South Florida Bulls. Looking to win their first conference tournament title in 36 years. Of course, they won a regular season title 2 years ago under Amir Abdur-Rahim. He shockingly and unexpectedly passed away after that season. And after a down year last year, they are right back at the top of the heap this year under Brian Hodgson.
And in between South Florida and Kennesaw State, all doing a really good job of honoring that man. A good man, a great coach, but as everyone said, an even better man.
Love wins is the prevailing sentiment at Kennesaw State and at USF. Brian Hodgson wears the Love Wins bracelet. We saw Antoine Petaway, the head coach for Kennesaw State yesterday, lead his team as a 6th seed to the Conference USA title. And he talked about in his post-game press conference, he talked about how he is standing on the shoulders of the late, great Amir Abdur-Rahim.
We're here in the Magic City. I still don't know why it's the Magic City, but this is March, and it really is a time of magic. It's so special for so many of these programs who get a chance to represent their university in the NCAA tournament. And when you understand all the layers beneath the surface and the people that are responsible for it, it's nice to see good men honored.
Here's Giles, held in check so far in the first 16 minutes. TJ Williams, Wichita native. Karan Boyd, top of the key, off the mark. But the offensive rebounding-minded Shockers get another possession. Berg lost it off the Nelson deflection, and it'll stay Wichita State basketball.
I would try. If Kenyon Giles is going to get double-teamed, anything in terms of a slip is going to put Isaiah Nelson in a bad spot with 1 foul, I'd go at him.
12 on the shot clock for Wichita State. And Berg threw it to the USF bench. That's another Wichita State turnover, their 8th of the first half.
I mean, obviously, if you're South Florida, you come in with a bit of a game plan defensively, but you hope on the offensive end you're able to put pace on the game, space teams out, get threes to go. That hasn't been the case, but South Florida hasn't hung their head in any way. Their body language has been great, and ultimately that's a sign of a bunch of fighters. Both teams here today, a tough start in some ways, but a strong start in other ways.
Here's Enos. He has 4. Off the window, off the mark. Smallest player on the floor, Kenyon Giles grabs the rebound. Touch pass, Okorafor, blocked again by Nelson. Brian Hodson told us when he first got him at Arkansas State, he was a terrible defender. And it leads to a three. Defense to offense for the Bulls. They've opened up an 8-point lead.
There's two. That's a tough one. Nelson picks up his second foul. He's been huge. His effort, his energy, it's been all over the floor defensively. He is your rim protector. It's been nothing easy down low. 3 blocks on the night so far. And then a little drive and kick, open three. That's what South Florida does.
Thank you, Zubin. I was even going to joke after what you guys were saying in the studio that Isaiah Nelson's mopping the floor. He's getting drinks for his teammates. He literally is doing that as well.
Yeah, he seems to be here today with a purpose. And the 2 fouls are a bit of a killer. There's also 2 fouls for the guy sitting next to him and Joseph Pinion. They haven't been able to establish the offensive end of the game, but they've certainly established themselves as the toughest team right now.
Paul Mills leaned into his Shockers team at the break, and he said, we got way too sped up to start this off. We have too many turnovers, and they haven't scored in about 3.5 minutes. Will Berg leaned into his teammates and said, we've got to wake up. They're punking us right now, guys.
Well, hopefully those 2 free throws by Okorafor will help the cause for Paul Mills and company.
Well, I think what else helps is Isaiah Nelson's on the bench. I think it's easier to punk everybody else.
Enos, 3. Still can't find the bottom of the bucket from distance.
But they haven't gotten good looks. I know they're tough shot takers and tough shot makers, but that usually comes from making a few. I always say, you know, misses are contagious. A lot of makes are infectious. They haven't really had to have that impact, or haven't been able to have that impact on one another yet. So get good looks first. Don't settle for tough ones.
John, we haven't heard a lot from Kenyon Giles. What does Wichita State have to do to get him going?
I would say a bunch of things, but the reality is he does it on his own. I think you just got to utilize him in the offense, run him off screens, make him a screener, all the things they do with Steph Curry.
Here's Giles, rises up, can't knock it down. Loose ball, Okorafor. And now TJ Williams with the left hand, no. And Isaiah Jones, the young man they call Zerk, grabs the rebound for the Bulls.
Both teams really active on the offensive glass, and a big part of that's effort. The other part is a lot of missed shots.
Here's Hightower. He's an energy giver. Largest lead of the game for the Bulls, 27-19. Counting down to 2 minutes to go in the first half. The winner advances to the NCAA tournament. Wichita State hasn't been there since 2021. It's been longer for the Bulls. They haven't made the NCAA tournament in 14 years.
They were going to get him eventually. They're going to get him on the hook. He is looking to grab the hand of the defender. That time he was able to get his hand all the way around his back, and the foul is going to be on Wes Enos. I mean, what he's doing is he's playing against the physicality, but you've got to find a better way to disguise it and hide it. You ever seen a player win an argument with an official?
No. And yet they still argue. Here's Okorafor. He's had a big part in this Shockers offense. Misses that shot. Here comes Omajafo.
Better decision-making from Omajafo. He's had a couple turnovers early, trying to make something happen in transition. Just get a good possession. This is more of a possession-to-possession contest than we thought it would be, but that's because of the physicality and defense.
Five on the clock. Hightower. Back-to-back buckets for the freshman out of Los Angeles.
You've got to feel really good if that's the type of production you're going to get with Joe Pinion and Isaiah Nelson on the bench. Just got to protect the basket as best as possible. You don't have shot blockers.
Williams had that shot deflected, and Okorafor picks it up and puts it in.
It's where guards have to be active rebounders. They've got to contribute to secure the rebound.
Make it 3 straight buckets for the smallest bull on the floor. Gavin Hightower has 6.
Yeah, Wes Enos is talking to the officials. He's got to settle down.
We're going to step aside for 30 seconds with 40.5 left in the first half. Alongside John Crispin, Rich Hollenberg, we talk about all these guards. We hadn't mentioned Gavin Hightower.
Gavin Hightower has done the best job of utilizing the ball screen and just playing with angles. He's also been able to make some tough shots. This is a tough finish. Surprised he didn't hit it with the too small. I love it when the little guys do that.
There's not many smaller than Gavin Hightower right now. Of course, Kenyon Giles being on the floor certainly answers that question. He's all of 5'10".
I think South Florida's done the best job of anybody against Kenyon Giles.
And the Bulls bench screaming for a trap.
No, they're saying there were 6 players on the floor. Oh, that's something completely missed.
Here comes Enos after the Wichita State miss.
It's as if the 6 guys on the floor was more disruptive to Wichita State than it was for South Florida.
But that happens. 3 in the game from Kenyon Giles.
Wow. What a finish to the first half. You run 6 out on offense. You don't see it. Kind of disrupts the offensive possession. You get a dunk on one end, and then Kenyon Giles wakes up. What a crazy sequence of events. You get this steal, kind of a broken possession. You get the dunk. The problem is you got the worst guy on the floor to let go and find one. Bottoms for Kenyon Giles to finish the first.
First 3 of the game from the prolific 3-point shooter. Let's go to Maryland with Brian Hodson.
Coach, I know you're fired up right now. Kenyon Giles, 22 and 24 against you guys in the last 2 meetings and 27 last night. But how have you minimized him in the first half?
Wes Enos is guarding his ass off. I'm fired up because they just had 6 guys on the floor. I let the ref know, and they didn't call. That's unacceptable.
When you go into the locker room, what message will you drive home for the second half?
Just keep guarding, rebounding the basketball, and just continue to be ourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Brian Hodson is a little hot under the collar. He might have an argument there, but his Bulls take a 33-26 lead into the locker room. The player of the year has shown up, Isaiah Nelson. And now we go to the halftime report. Sargento halftime report. Here's Zubin.
Let's see if Coach Crean and Coach Keats bring the same amount of passion that Coach Hodgson.
Oh, we're going to bring it now, and I don't blame him. What if you lose the game by 2 and there's 6 players on the floor?
We're inside the Sargento halftime report. It's the Big Ten championship game. Tom, it's yesterday's hero, Yaxel Lendeboer.
He's been a hero for a long time. Got to start at UAB. Just continues to play at such a high level. He's an inside-outside player and can knock you down if he wants to score inside.
Braden Smith scoring. Of course, he's going after the all-time assist record. Kevin Amari Barnett for Michigan.
Well, Barnett's playing great early, and this game's going to come all the way down to the end. This is 2 teams that's really fighting to get a good win here for
the Big Ten championship. But the SEC championship in Nashville. Nashville School, Vandy trying to win it in their home city. Problem is, Kev, Arkansas had Darius Acuff Jr.
Well, there's nothing he can't do. I mean, you think about the way he's playing in this tournament. He had another 30 ball in this tournament.
Wow. Think about this. The last guy to lead the SEC in points and assists in the same season, Pete Maravich, and now Darius Acuff.
Well, he can also pass the ball, as we see on that assist to Trevon Brazile. But look at this team. Look at him get to the rim. Then the next play, that is when Arkansas is at their best. Driving, kicking, making the ball be chased by the opponent.
And Arkansas and Cal win the SEC tournament. Meanwhile, Kentucky has an early exit. I'm sure that's not going to get any chatter in the SEC.
You seem to bring it up quite a bit.
I'm in the storyline business. We welcome you inside the Sargento halftime report with a pair of coaches that have gone to the Final Four, Tom Crean, Kevin Keats. I'm Zubin Mehenti.
Always stirring it up,
and our point guard.
Always. He's our point guard.
This is
Always
great.
stirring it up.
This
And
is
we
our
get the
Braden
blame.
Smith
We
right
get
here.
the blame.
I don't have the guard play that Darius Acuff Jr. has, though. He
You
impressed you
definitely
big
don't.
time.
I can tell you
You
that.
can run the point like him. You're not quite the shooter.
I won't be making that NBA money. What did you see out of Acuff today?
So I love Acuff because he makes everyone around him better. He can pass the ball. He can get into the paint. He can get steals and get out in transition. When you look at him, has to be MVP of this tournament. The dude averaged 30 points in this tournament. What a great performance. He's going to be fun to watch in the NCAA tournament.
And speaking of the tournament and speaking of the NBA, waiting for 4 years for Trevin Brazile to be that guy.
Today
and
he
shows
was.
flashes. Definitely was today with the threes, with the way he got to the rim, with the way he can shoot the ball. I mean, look at this. He can block shots. He had some big ones yesterday. Big ones today. This guy can stretch out and play. He can score with either hand. We can see him knocking down threes. John Calipari has done a phenomenal job making him a more fundamental player throughout the last couple of years. There's a lot of soundness to his game. That's the kind of guy that could end up in that first round with a really good NCAA tournament run.
We are exactly 1 hour and 45 minutes away from the revealing of the field of 68. These guys are already in. A couple more got in earlier today, including some incredible drama from the Ivy League. That's next.
You're watching the Sargento Halftime Report.
Ivy League championship. Looks like Yale's got it in the bag. They're up 4, about 10 seconds to go. TJ Power at 44. He cuts it to a 1-point game. Now, Kev, final seconds of regulation, 3-point game.
Where if you're up Yale 5.8, up 3, you got to make the decision. Do you foul here? That's the way he doesn't make that shot, Tom.
Yeah, and if you're not going to foul, you absolutely cannot let him turn it into a 3. Especially when he had just hit when he had 44 points today. Phenomenal job by TJ Power.
Trevor Mullen almost won it on a 3-quarter court shot at the end of regulation, but instead Cam Thrower rallies and Penn wins thanks to 44 powering Penn by TJ Power. 5th different program McCaffrey, by the way, is taken to the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, VCU, thanks to Barry Evans, Tom, too much for Dayton.
Barry Evans is going to the tournament again. He went last year with Bryant, and he's going with VCU, as is we're going to see here with Jadrian Tracy. Tell me how much Oregon missed having Jadrian Tracy on their team. They definitely did.
Well, I look at Oregon's Big Ten record, I would certainly concur. And how about a 2-bid league here for the A-10, Kev?
Well, it's great for the league. They've done a good job. This is a very good basketball league. Good win by VCU.
Lenardi's bubble looks like this. There's not too much action. Joe is just actually in the studio to bring you inside, and he says for the most part, the tournament field is set with all eyes on Miami of Ohio and exactly.
I got mine on Auburn. They're gonna get to Dayton.
All right. Joe is not on board with that. One of you will be right, one of you will be wrong. We'll find out during bracketology tonight with the second half of the American for one last auto bid, and then in Chicago for Michigan and Purdue, with the other team obviously getting an at-large bid. Lenardi said this is a 1-bid league. Who wants the berth? Right now, we've got a ball game.
This halftime report is presented by Sargento Natural American Cheese.
You're watching ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal. This is the American Men's Basketball Championship. We are inside Legacy Arena in Birmingham, Alabama, and the South Florida Bulls, the top seed in this conference tournament, are 20 minutes away from punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Inside the arena, alongside John Crispin, I'm Rich Hollenberg, Marilyn Payne standing by as well. Isaiah Nelson has been living up to his billing as Conference Player of the Year.
Yeah, you really can't measure value with production. I mean, there are so many things that you can't quantify about Isaiah Nelson. He's everywhere. You absorb contact, you got a great secondary extraordinary defender. He plays with a great motor. Got a 3 to go. That was huge. Team struggling to shoot the 3. He's also a lob threat if you're able to turn the corner and play against a flat, big defender. Now, on the other side, we came in talking about Kenyon Giles. It was going to be his night. Well, the problem has been he's had to deal with Wes Enos. Wes has been all up in Kenyon Giles' face. He's unscreenable. His physicality has helped him. Now, down the stretch, weird situation. Kenyon Giles gets a tough shot to go. That's really been it. I think you've done a great job if you're South Florida in limiting Kenyon Giles, not only shots, but touches.
Giles 2 for 6 and 1 for 5 from 3. With more on the Shocks, Maryland.
Paul Mills, if you can believe it, said, I'm not actually worried about our offense right now, despite being 2 of 10 from 3 and shooting just 35%. He said the problem is the rebound percentage for South Florida. He said they've got 45% of their own misses. We cannot win if we do that, and we got to stop getting turned over.
Thank you, Maryland. USF starts the second half with possession.
Remember, 2 fouls for Joseph Pinion and Isaiah Nelson.
Pinion left alone for only a moment. Still can't get his first 3 of the game.
You just wonder if Isaiah Nelson's going to be as aggressive as he was in the first half, just trying to avoid picking up that 3rd foul.
Petit spins. He had a good first half. Michael Gray Jr. for 3. Good start for Wichita State.
Define him as an X factor, right? We agree on that. Michael Gray is a really good X factor, particularly with the attention that goes the way of Kenyon Giles.
Had 11 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 dimes the last time these two teams met, did Michael Gray. C.J. Brown in the painted area, fouled and will go to the line.
I mean, Gray's going to get open looks. So you have to understand that, trust that, be patient. Everything's going to shade the way of Kenyon Giles, particularly in a broken play where defense is scrambling. Everybody scrambles out. Concerned with Kenyon Giles. Michael Gray Jr. is going to get open looks.
So here's C.J. Brown. We talked earlier in this game about Amir Abdur-Rahim, the former head coach at USF. This is the lone remaining member that Coach Rahim recruited to come to USF, and one of the biggest things that Brian Hodson did was retain him on this roster.
Retention's an issue for everybody, but when you understand all the layers behind that, that's a big one to keep.
Brown goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. He's 2 for 4 from the line this afternoon.
Now, if I'm South Florida in the halftime locker room, I understand, guys, it's okay. We haven't gotten the threes going yet. Let's continue to turn the corner, continue to probe inside paint, continue to live at the free throw line, see if we can get their guys in foul trouble. But don't force threes. Just break them down defensively by getting that thing on the bounce and inside the paint.
Here's Karan Boyd. Had 17 when they faced the Bulls last time. Five on the shot clock. And a late whistle, somewhat of a bailout foul.
Well, Joe Pinion's lucky because he fouled him first and he got away with it. He's got to be careful. 2 fouls and you're just digging in. There's no reason to reach, and then Wes Enos is the one that picks up the foul. First it's Joe Pinion, hack 1. There's hack 2. These guys have really good hands and they get a lot of deflections, but you do have to be cautious, particularly when it becomes such a physical contest.
Well, every one of the USF starters, John, has 2 fouls now.
Look, you can get away with some body bumping, right? You can get away with that. But when you start to reach, those are the fouls that are going to get called.
Free throws by Petit. He's in double digits with 11. The USF lead is 3. The winner punches their ticket to the NCAA tournament.
It was a great job by Michael Gray, understanding Joe Pinion wants to come off that screen and curl.
Nelson with the right hand.
Sometimes I celebrate the little things too much, but that defense, you're making a decision. Do I trail tight? Well, he wants to curl, so I'm going to come underneath. That was a great read by Michael Gray.
9 points now for Nelson. Good hesitation by the youngster, Dylan Petit. The sophomore out of Dallas leads the Shocks with 13. Pat Adams caught Michael Gray Jr. He had corralled Wes Enos around the waist as he ran through the center part of the floor.
It was actually a great foul in the end because Joe Pinion got left. Just miscommunication defensively. Two guys go on the tight curl with Wes Enos, and Joe Pinion was wide open. It would have been the best look of the game for him.
Wichita State, a known brand in college basketball. So good in the 80s with Xavier McDaniel leading the nation in scoring and rebounding. Then in the 2000s with Greg Marshall leading the way and that play angry mantra. This is almost like play angry 2.0.
Play angry-ish.
Ish.
Hard to play angry anymore. The game's so fluid.
Nelson right up against Berg, and Berg wins that battle.
Yeah, that's the wall up that we have finally gotten to allow. More plays at the rim because we don't call charges every time. Good defense by Berg.
Shockers space the floor. 10 on the shot clock. Now 5 to shoot. Gray has the ball. Found a seam, and it's pinned against the backboard. They're going to count the bucket.
Oh, right now, Brian Hodgson looking at his bench saying, guys, who's got the iPad? Are we reviewing this? I thought it was a good block. I mean, I really thought, a great move by Michael Gray, but nah, I think they got it right. I think they got it right. Yep, hit the glass first. Man, good call, Doug Shouse. I'll get it right with a few replays.
Yeah. Tell you, those are some tense moments when you're holding that iPad behind
I
the
don't want to be the iPad guy. You need hazard pay for that.
Enos held in check. Got his first bucket of the second half now.
Oh, that's going to stay here, too. That's where such a great job by Wes Enos. Keeps the defender on his back, but also keeps Berg engaged. It brings other defenders over to take Isaiah Nelson off the glass. So watch the tight curl. He keeps the defender on his back and keeps Berg engaged. Now, other guys have to come in. That's Boyd picking up the foul. That's all Wes Enos. This could be a big possession.
Pinion, look at that quick release, but he's short. And the ball is tied up, and we're going the other way.
That's the right call. This happens a lot. Guy has the ball, and you just kind of bear hug him and say, jump ball. I don't like that shot. You're not building rhythm on that shot if you're Joe Pinion. It's simultaneous possession, too, not simultaneous touching of the basketball. I think we award jump balls far too quickly.
Well, yesterday, John, Wes Enos and Joe Pinion went a combined 10 for 21 from three-point range. Today, they are 0 for 7, getting skunked by the Shockers defense.
I mean, look, on the surface, it's a different game, obviously, last night to today, but the way the game's being played is different. It's a physical contest. You're not going to get open three looks. You have to trust in your ability to get to the basket. The last possession with Wes Enos turning the corner tight, keeping the defender on his back, getting 2 to engage. You're going to have to win inside the paint until the game opens up.
Every possession, the offense is fighting tooth and nail for a clean look. Petit. The one more. Gray, top of the key. In and out. And a foul on the floor.
It's probably going to be on Pinion. That's going to be his third, and that's a quite literal tall task, asking him to box out Will Berg.
Joe Pinion almost has as many fouls as he does points, and that can't sit well with Brian Hodgson, as Pinion will check out.
It's the type of game that's being played, and you have to adjust to it.
Got a 5-second call on Michael Gray Jr. That's a Shockers turnover. Turnover number 11 for them. They average just 10 turnovers a game.
See that a lot with out of bounds underneath. When there's slow developing plays, you forget you've got to get the basketball in bounds. Kenyon Giles was almost coming into curls to set up once the ball gets in. Then he's going to get it down screen and curl off of that. But if you don't get the ball in bounds, so what? Come on.
And now the chess match between two excellent head coaches. Will Berg goes to the bench for Paul Mills, so Brian Hodson immediately sends Damian Collins in for Isaiah Nelson to get a rest.
Hightower was really good in the first. See if he's able to have an impact in the second.
Enos hounded and harassed. Can't hit the three. The dynamic duo from USF still 0 from behind the arc this game. 4 minutes gone by in the second half. Good baseline take by TJ Williams, his first two.
Wichita State just hanging in there, just fighting in this contest. It's more half court than anything else.
A 1-point game, and now the Shockers have a chance to take the lead. Off the hands of Okorafor and out of bounds. Wichita's first lead of the game was 4-2. They're knocking on the door again. We've got a 1-point game in the title game. This is the American Conference on ESPN, and that is the trophy they are playing for. We've got a 1-point game between the 1 and 2 seeds, South Florida and Wichita State. It's been a hard hat and lunch pail kind of game. Maryland, just the way USF likes it.
It is, and they are going to need more blue-collar points from their team in response to the push that Wichita State has just made. But I'm iced out, and I'm locked and loaded for some physicality if anything comes my way, guys. USF tracks their blue-collar points, and they're not just hustle plays. They are defense. Coach Hodgins, he said, listen, the reason that this works, Brian Hodgins explained very obviously, is because those types of plays are then what gives us points. So if you're getting the D rebound, if you're getting the block or the steal, it's gonna result in you also very likely being our leading scorer and our MVP, but this is the way that we want to motivate that. Take it or leave it, this chain is real. It's very heavy, and the gentleman who does all those South Florida Bulls NIL deals is who made it. I'll see if I can get something to take home, but definitely not this one, I promise.
Look, this is the type of game it is, and I think we came into this game seeking out the firepower for both teams. We talked about the big three, starting with Isaiah Nelson, but Joseph Pinion, his ability to shoot the basketball. Same with Wes Enos, and then on the other end, the most electric scorer, frankly, possibly in the country, in Kenyon Giles. The game hasn't allowed for that to happen yet. Now, at any moment, these are teams and guys that can get it going, but the game is determining the way it's being played, and right now it's a blue-collar game.
Josh Omajafo, 9 points on the afternoon. One of 4 USF Bulls who's played in over 100 career games. This is number 130 for the man they call Jomo. And he got them both. 10 for Omajafo, and it's a 3-point South Florida lead. Looking to win their first conference tournament title in 36 years. That goes back to 1990 when they were in the Sun Belt. And wouldn't you know it, they won it in this gym. Seven on the shot clock. Giles, nowhere to go. Okorafor spins, can't hit. Good defense again by Bulls.
This is turn-a-corner offense right now. You've got to be able to turn a corner and get into the paint on the bounce and just read.
Enos blocked by Okorafor. Giles leads the break for the Shockers. He wants it back.
He should have gotten it back.
Yeah, Williams took it himself instead. Loose ball taken away by Isaac Jones.
Just waiting for the dog in Kenyon Giles to come out. Let guys know he needs the ball at times. He can move the game. Talked about gravity. Eyeballs are an issue. All eyeballs follow Kenyon Giles.
There's a lob. Collins, good catch. but he threw it right to Wichita State. And Collins is slow to get up.
So not Isaiah Nelson. You've got to know your personnel when you're throwing that lob.
Wichita State playing 5-on-4, but they can't cash it in.
Yeah, and Brian Hodson's not happy with that from Collins. You got to get up off your seat and get back into the action. No foul was called. The play's going the other way. He's going to be coming out, Isaiah Nelson back in, but even on that lob, know your personnel. We always say KYP, right? Know who you're throwing to. It's not Isaiah Nelson. He goes down, and now you got numbers.
That was the third foul on TJ Williams.
You think they give out negative blue-collar points?
It's a good question.
Tells me Maryland can figure that out.
And Jaffa off the mark. Second opportunity. Here's Enos. Right in front of his own bench.
Oh, Gavin Hightower, though. Credit Gavin Hightower. Great patience, great poise on that second chance opportunity to give Wes Enos a chance.
9 for Enos. The lead is 6 for the Bulls. Taken away, Pinion. It's a jump ball. Possession arrow will stay with Wichita State.
This is really big. Just keep things alive. Talk so much about blue-collar points. You can't quantify the value. Zay Nelson keeps it alive. Gavin Hightower, great patience and poise. Sit, wait, and then rise and fire to get Wes Enos going. Now, that's a good look. It's a contested shot, but any clean look you can get off if you're Joseph Pinion or Wes Enos, you take it. Gavin Hightower received a nice ovation when he walked off, rightfully so.
All that matters for Wes Enos is the last shot, and he made his last one. 1 for 6 from 3. Berg with the two-hand stuff. Here's Pinion going to work. Blocked from behind by Boyd. Nelson showed 3, drives baseline. Exclamation point from the player of the year.
It's really hard to have backside help on somebody like Isaiah Nelson with so many shooters around, so there's no one really there, and who's stepping in front anyway? Oh, that's 4. That's 4 on Joe Pinion. And he has not been able to have an impact on this one. He almost picked up his 4th possession prior just with his hands, and this is one where you have to stay low, slide your feet. You're too important in a championship game, but Isaiah Nelson, man almighty, he's everywhere.
Brian Hodson with some tough love for Joe Pinion, who followed him from Jonesboro, Arkansas to Tampa, Florida. Berg, back-to-back buckets for the big man.
Take Joe Pinion off the floor. It's a different kind of balance. You have more drivers, more guys to attack the glass. Look for Wes Enos to get the ball back in his hands and play out of ball screens.
Nelson showed 3 again. It's going to stay USF basketball.
While Wes Enos has been a three-point shooter, his body allows him to work in ball screens well, particularly with Wilberg on the floor. They're going to play it flat, which means Wes Enos can turn the corner and get a defender on his back. You need space on the floor for that to work, but then you have the roll from Isaiah Nelson. I think Wes Enos has to play a little different game here down the stretch.
USF #1 in the nation in points on plays called out of timeouts. This wasn't a timeout, but it was still an out-of-bounds play, and they get a bucket. Six for Isaiah Jones on 2 3-pointers. The lead is back to 7 for USF. Berg, patient. Enos, like a glove on Giles.
Unreal.
He had a double clutch on that.
Absolutely incredible. Unscreenable. Wes Enos. You can't say enough about that effort. Multiply the blue-collar points, but we still like highlights. Nobody's going to help. Why? You got shooters all over the floor. Who you going to leave? Who's stepping in front of that? You finally get it 3 to go. We're starting to find it offensively, but still a bit of a battle.
Pretty good that Isaiah Nelson's going to be joining some of those dudes in the NBA next year.
I think he belongs. What position does he play? Who absolutely cares? I think what the NBA needs is toughness, and they need winners. This guy's been an absolute winner. This hasn't been an easy game for South Florida. It hasn't been an easy game for Wichita State either. But Isaiah Nelson's done a little bit of everything. I think he falls in my humble arrogance category.
Yeah?
He'll do it all. He understands. Look, there are others out here that I need, but at the same time, I understand I'm the dog of this team. And right now, he's leading by example.
And he is a man of the people. Firing up his teammates, firing up the fans. Isaiah Nelson.
Got a little Joker ink on the shoulder.
Certainly a season to remember for him. 3 years at Arkansas State. Came over with Brian Hodson when he signed at USF. And all he's done is turn in an historic year in his first season with the Bulls. Enos,
oh wow,
another one.
Oh, once he finds him, Rich, that shifts things, that changes things. Now, Wes Enos is making in-your-face shots like Kenyon Giles. Let's see if Giles has an answer. What defense.
Karan Boyd answers with a three.
It's almost as if so much attention is on Kenyon Giles that you forget you've really got to take Boyd out of the equation as well. But Wes Enos, what a job he's done.
He leads the Bulls with 12. Immediate heat check.
That's the one you've got to curl that tight. Wilburn's playing flat. Make him cover two and see what the defense does. There's no reason to settle for that one.
Good defense by Isaiah Jones on that possession. We talked about both of these offenses. I mean, Wichita State has scored 80 or more points in 6 of their last 7 games. 15 times this year. South Florida scored 90 plus. This is a defensive battle. Maryland, what you got?
Rich, you guys rightfully called for Kenyon Giles to take a shot down there, but that Karan Boyd three is what Paul Mills wanted. He said, KB, you've got to go down and be our decision maker and our leader. They are not going to lead Giles. And Karan Boyd was empowering his team to stay aggressive on offense. He said, keep believing, keep going, keep shooting. We will come back.
I think what's been most remarkable is that Kenyon Giles can't create space. He hasn't had that issue all year. And I think familiarity helps, tape helps, and the preparation that Wes Enos had coming into this game, you know, couple that with the determination to take on Kenyon Giles. Wes Enos so far has been the star of the game, up there with Isaiah Nelson.
Yeah, holding Giles to 5 points right now. He had 22 and 24 when these teams met in the regular season.
He can't get a shot off.
Nelson hands off to Enos. Hostage dribble.
That's it. That's the game. That's a good possession.
Is that a clappable miss, Crispin?
My perspective.
Enos hits the deck. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll stay Wichita State basketball.
I think like the initial explorers to our continent, or at least this part of the world, you send people and you see what you can get. You see what you can find, and that's kind of the possession that was. Explore, get inside the paint, watch what defense does, run somebody up the three-point line, see how the defense rotates. But you got to keep your head up to read it all.
Now Trey Kindle. Turnover. Brown lost the handle, fouled by Kindle.
That was a hard foul.
Yeah.
And I know Brown may want the intentional. Is there even a play on the ball? How about Isaiah Nelson? Hello. That's the Joker in him. I don't know. They might look at it. I would look at it, and I think they will. They are. It's got to be a play on the ball, and I'm not sure I saw one.
The previous action is under review.
So they're checking to see if it's a flagrant one.
Excessive and unnecessary. I mean, there's a grab, there's...
Yeah, grab and a hold.
I mean, there's a part of me that's saying, look, it's a good hard foul. We're okay. Quite often you go to the review because in a way you're officiating outcome. The outcome looks bad, so you want to make sure there was nothing there. The outcome wasn't bad there. It was just a good hard foul, but we tend to call these flagrants. You go letter of the law, that might be justifiable.
Tell you one thing I noticed, Brian Hodson gave his point guard a big hug after that.
Brian Hodson's like an intense guy.
After review,
Here we go.
the call on the floor stands. We have a common foul on number 3. Number 11 is going to shoot 2 free throws for South Florida. We'll play off of that.
All right, the Bulls crowd doesn't like it, understandably so, but C.J. Brown will go to the line and shoot 2.
Yeah, look, it's a hard foul. Is it a little much, maybe? It's just a good hard foul. I just always wonder, like, Brian Hodson, new coach here, he's an imposing figure. I always wonder the type of relationships they're able to develop with officials.
Brown hits the free throw, gets coached really hard by his head coach, Brian Hodson. Some tough love, and he's responded.
I think there's the other part of that is he also loves him. And he said he wants them to love him 10 years down the road, which means you made an impact on their lives, not just their season.
And sometimes, many times, you only get one season with that play.
That's where we are.
USF is now opened a 9-point lead. Wichita State got to within 1. Berg. Got to keep it up high, big fella.
And the second he brings it down, you've just got to corral it because you want to keep from Isaiah Nelson picking up a foul.
Jones with the 3 in transition off the mark.
We'll go back to that. When Wilberg brings the ball down, others have to get to that basketball so he can't rise up, potentially pick up a foul for Isaiah Nelson.
Here's Berg. Extra pass from Boyd, and they turn it over again.
The hands there for South Florida. Great defensive performance really starts with Isaiah Nelson and Wes Enos on Kenyon Giles.
14 Wichita State turnovers. That's 4 over their season average. USF's largest lead has been 10. It's 9 right now. Nelson can't add to it. They'll live with Isaiah Nelson shooting threes, right?
Yeah, until he makes 3 in a row.
Berg? No, from close range.
He's at 6'8". He's also a deterrent. You have to think twice when you shoot a shot. You have a 7'2" guy shooting floaters. That's respect. We're right back to it and roll. Yep, that's the game. I can't say it enough. That's the entire game. And if you do it in the center of the floor with shooters around, you're in a great spot.
Kindle, no whistle. And Brown comes away with it.
Get numbers and go.
Here's Brown. Track downhill driver, got it himself. A 6-0 run by the Bulls, and now the lead is 13, the largest of this championship game.
That has just been great defensive possession after great defensive possession, capped off with good offensive options. I told, look, explore a little bit. Go see what you can get by getting inside the paint, read the defense. That possession perfect by Wes Enos, and then cap off a great defensive possession with a run-out layup. We set this game up telling you Kenyon Giles an absolute bucket getter. Well, clearly South Florida fully aware of that. The defense on Kenyon Giles has been humbling to say the least. This is just absolute effort and awareness of what Kenyon Giles wants. What he wants is space. He wants to wear you down, create space, step back. Well, Wes Enos is all over that. Nothing there, can't even get a shot up. I'm telling you, sometimes great performances are exactly that. They're humbling.
Maryland was over at the USF huddle.
Brian Hodgson just did something for the first time today. When he gathered his team in the timeout, he asked them to take a deep breath, to exhale after that 6-0 run and game-high lead. And then he said, okay, let's keep going, and got them to all yell back at him, pouring energy into their huddle. He said, we've got this. This is our moment. Keep playing. Keep getting aggressive on offense. So settle down and then pour it all out is the message over here for the Bulls.
He was pouring out some of that Hulk juice, keeping him pumped up for the final 7-19 in this championship tilt.
This has just been, you know, look, the scoring hasn't been there, but this has been such a battle. We've had a battle of attrition earlier in this tournament with the 3 overtimes between Charlotte and North Texas. This is a different kind of battle. Almost possession to possession, where maybe you can steal some transition points here and there, but few and far between.
Here's Okorafor. Out of the timeout, Boyd gets 2 feet in the paint and gets fouled by Omojafo.
I think that possession there was trying to get Isaiah Nelson to foul. He didn't bite.
Third foul on Josh Omojafo. And we have reached another media timeout with 7:06 to go. 13-point lead for the #1 seed, USF Bulls. Like 75 years ago, not 36 years ago.
It doesn't help that they're in black and white. Goodness gracious, 1990 feels like it was 70 years ago.
Radenko Dobras, Hakeem Shahid, it was a veteran team. And there have been some tough times at USF in Tampa basketball-wise, but Amir Abdur-Rahim showed up a couple of seasons ago. They won a regular season title, and now they are on the precipice of winning their first conference title in over 3 decades.
Well, being there, you start to get a better feel for what's going on there, and there's a lot of excitement about sports at South Florida. Like this Boyd on Enos.
Nelson decides to take it himself. Lost the handle, and Okorafor clears. 12-point game, far from over. Here's a 3, and it's off the mark for Giles. A frustrating afternoon for Kenyon Giles, an electric scorer as any in the nation.
It's almost as if he's gotten his best looks on broken plays, where the defense just stops defending. That shot, the shot he got to go, the 3 got to go here late in the first half. Hasn't had many opportunities, and you just have to credit Wes Enos. I know we're going to give players of the game and stuff like that to guys who have the points and the production, but it's the immeasurables that matter the most when it comes to winning a championship.
Both teams in the 1-1 the remainder of this second half. And Nelson pays it off with his 12th point. Well, Selection Sunday is just a few hours away. It starts at 6 Eastern with SportsCenter on ESPN. Then we'll look at the Field of 68, followed by bracketology and breakdowns of each region. And at 8, the Women's Field of 68 revealed with a complete breakdown of each match at 9 Eastern.
Nothing like cramming for that test. If you do a bracket show right now, everybody who has to talk about these teams is scrambling to get as much information as you can on all the ones that are going to be 16, 15, 14, 13 seeds. I think we know the top teams pretty well at this point in the season.
Speaking of scrambling, you and I are going to be scrambling back to our hotel to turn the TV on. The final piece in the Champ Week puzzle is almost in place. Wichita State or USF?
I think the challenge for Wichita State is South Florida is able to build a little bit of a lead, and the game has been a possession-to-possession contest. So to think of putting a run together, it's hard to imagine. It's the offense. Nope.
Brown tried to thread the needle to Omojafo.
That's the play, though, because you had Boyd spaced out so far on the ball side because Wes Enos isn't going to get left. So if you can turn the corner and play 2-man game with the paint, there's going to be options. I would just continue to space.
Nowhere to go for Brown. And he turns it over. Here's Boyd in transition. Going right at Nelson and can't get it to go.
Surprise, Nelson blocked it. His timing is incredible. And those are things that NBA guys look at. Like, what kind of instincts does a guy have? I don't know. How about perfect? Obviously, his shot's an issue at the next level, but right now, who cares?
Left open, Omajafo. No. And Giles clears for Wichita State. Just 1 for their last 7 from the field. Now make it 1 for 8. In and out for Giles. He missed 2 in a row. Credit this Bulls defense. They have harassed and hounded Wichita State all afternoon.
I think defense is as much of a statement to the rest of the country as their potent offense is.
10 on the timer. Here's Omajafo going baseline. And Will Berg got a piece.
Look who got it.
Mr. Blue Collar himself. 35 in white, Isaiah Nelson. 10 on the timer. Now Enos goes to work. Spin move, left hand, got it.
That's the game. You've got to just continue to play with Giles on your backside and then just read the play. So keep your head up. If no one's going to come over, rise over the top.
Wes Enos is only 2 for 8 from 3, but he's 6 for 17 overall, doing a lot of damage in the paint.
Yeah, but this has been Isaiah Nelson. He's just everywhere. Blocking, keeps the ball alive on the other side. He just comes right back in, keeps it alive again. New possession, and then you get a nice jumper out of it. I mean, this is the way they've been able to win. It hasn't been pretty. There could have been a lot more glam in this game when you consider the firepower from South Florida and Kenyon Giles, but to win a championship, you just have to survive it.
One of the things that makes Isaiah Nelson so special, in addition to the points and the rebounds, like we said, he had 18 double-doubles this year, is something that's relatively new in basketball parlance. They call it stocks.
Yeah.
How many blocks and steals do you have combined? Right now, Isaiah Nelson has 3 steals and 3 blocks in the game.
He's doing all right. Now, Joseph Pinion's back in the game. One thing he's got is fresh legs. So hopefully that helps him find it. And if anything, he's another floor spacer as they've started to explore playing in that 2-man game in the middle of the paint.
Boyd goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Pinion playing with those 4 fouls, number 5 in white.
So I like being patient offensively, but eventually getting it back to Wes Enos and let him probe, let him work. Now they're going to hide Kenyon Giles a little bit defensively, put a little bit more size on the ball handlers.
Brown, here's Pinion going right to the hole. And Joe Pinion will go to the line and shoot 2 when we return. 3:56 to go. The clock is ticking. Do we have a Cinderella in Birmingham? ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. It's been all energy and effort from Mr. Double-Double, Mr. Blue Collar himself, the player of the year, Isaiah Nelson. His team 3:56 away from hoisting the American Conference Tournament Championship trophy. With more on how they could close it out, here's Marilyn Payne.
Brian Hodgson's message in his huddle was Joe is going to go make both of these free throws, and we are going for the kill. Stay aggressive. He said keep guarding them. They are really going to have to out-rebound us, and they can't do that. He said you're guarding the initial access point really well and making them take bad shots. We're winning by 3 on the glass. Let's get this thing to 6-7.
Nobody knows what that means, by the way. I know 6-7 is a thing, and every time I've asked, no one has given me a good answer. They just celebrate it.
She's looking at you when she said it, too.
Yeah, because I'm not with it, and I'm proud of it. I feel like my 93-year-old grandmother who said years ago, this is not my world.
Wait, tell America, what does YWA stand for?
I learned that one. Where you at?
There you go.
That was good. That's
there you
good.
go.
I might adopt it.
Man of the people, John Crispin. Pinion went 1 for 2. And there's another 2 for Dylan Batiste.
Dylan Batiste's been really good, and the triple pump fake is what you've got to do, and then you've got to time your release against Isaiah Nelson because he's so good about timing his jump.
Now 3.5 to go.
This is where I'd want the ball. I trust his strength, particularly like him in a ball screen situation.
Enos working on Gray. Tough 2 off the iron.
I would continue to bring a ball screen, particularly with Wilberg on the floor. He's playing it flat. I'd go right at him.
Bounce pass, big to big, and Wilberg gets fouled and will go to the line. That looks like it's going to be on the point guard, C.J. Brown, his third.
C.J. Brown, that's his third personal.
So Berg going to go to the line and shoot a pair, the American Conference 6th man of the year. And he's got the first of 2. We have a special Monday ESPN Hockey Night doubleheader. The Bruins taking on the Devils at 7 Eastern. Then the Pens against the Avalanche in Colorado. Coverage drops with The Point at 6 Eastern on ESPN2.
You know what I like about hockey that I think basketball needs to continue to look at is the fluidity. The fact that you can sub on the fly might be the coolest thing. I don't know how we could do it here, but actually I think Wichita State tried to do it earlier.
No harm, no foul as of yet. Now some full court pressure from the Shockers D.
Maybe opportunities to attack it if you get it up the floor.
3 minutes to go in regulation.
That was close.
USF looking for their first trip to the NCAA tournament in 14 years.
It's been brewing.
Nelson. Now Jones with 5 on the clock. Enos. Shot clock running down. Ice in his veins.
It might be early, but it feels like an early dagger. Can Kenyon Giles impact this game? That's unnecessary for Isaiah Nelson. I know he's extended defense out. This is just a tough shot. I think it's good defense. I mean, you're there. It's the green light that is so hard to defend. Right? You can be there as a defender, but if somebody's got a green light to rise and fire right in your face, you tend to foul more often than not.
Pinion struggling. Enos heating up. 3 for 9 now from 3, and he's directing traffic.
Yeah, I think what's helped him make shots is ultimately find where he can impact the game offensively by getting inside the paint in that 2-man game action.
Gray shook off the foul, the hard foul on Isaiah Nelson, and now has 6 points. Making your free throws a must for Paul Mills's crew.
Well, in a game like this, absolutely. Possession-to-possession contest, you can't envision a run at this point.
What a tremendous climb it's been for Paul Mills in Wichita. In his 3rd year as the head coach, they were a 12 seed in the tournament 2 years ago, an 8 seed last year, and they made it all the way to the 2 seed this year. But right now, their backs are against the wall as we count down to 2 minutes to go.
Enos Giles back on Enos, bringing action his way. Play off the ball screen, space the floor with Pinion.
Enos in and out. Pinion grabs the rebound. A big one for Joe Pinion. Brown blocked by the Shockers. Here's Giles in transition. He wanted a 3, nearly turned it over. Michael Gray Jr., no. And a foul called.
wanted the call on the drive. There were hands early. But as a neutral perspective, as we are, I think that's the way the game's been played. And when it turns into a half-court game, the physicality naturally is going to go up. So the bottom line is you have to adjust to the game, and it's been fair.
Right. Both coaches in this game, most coaches in any game will tell you all we want is consistency.
The best officiated games are the ones that kind of adapt to the style of play, right? If it's going to be half court, you're going to have to allow a little bit more body bumping type physicality. And both teams live with it.
And Noah Hill missed both free throws. Valuable points left on the board. 90 seconds to go. That's all that stands between USF and a date to dance in late March. The last time USF made it to the NCAA tournament was back in 2012. They made it as an at-large team, Stan Heath and company, a very defensive-minded bunch.
Group. And look, this game kind of honored that, but this is also a team that can go out and score 90 points on any given night.
What type of team would USF give problems to in the NCAA tournament?
I could provide like some sort of answer to that, but I don't even know if I believe it. I mean, it depends how you choose to match up. Sometimes on the surface, the matchup looks good or bad. But what you decide to do about it and whether you can execute that game plan, that ultimately becomes the determining factor. Was UMBC a great matchup for #1 seed Virginia? No. Welcome to the NCAA tournament.
Gray, Giles, three, short. Picked up by Hill, and he was on the end line.
Just been a tough game for Kenyon Giles. He hasn't had room to even line up a shot. He likes to do the double step back. It's actually the one he does. It's not a travel. He hasn't been able to create space.
Now Pinion gives it up to Brown. Counting down to 1 minute to go. And the foul's going to go on Michael Gray, his third. Brian Hodson hands his point guard a towel and whispers some sweet nothings to him about knocking down these free throws and putting this game on ice.
Brian Hodson has great eyes, too. I don't know, I just looked at that. He got blue eyes, he's striking eyes, and he has kind of an imposing figure, but being there in practice, he coaches them hard, but he also treats them like pros. And I think it's a combination of, I have high expectations for you, but I also trust when you do your job, and I let you go. And I think that's what we've seen from them offensively, where when they defend, it allows them to play freely on the offensive end, and his demeanor helps that.
Both free throws good from C.J. Brown. It's been a good floor game for him. 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Again, this is a loaded USF team that can hurt you in so many different ways.
We really haven't seen all of it, but the game often determines that. And the fact they can win any style game, I think that makes any opponent in the NCAA tournament complain or concerned.
Isaiah Nelson comes away with it. And that one's stolen away by Boyd. A three from the top of the key and another air ball for Wichita State.
We're asking if it's tipped. Paul Mills talking about
yeah, Paul Mills wants to review it.
I didn't think it was. I was wrong earlier about a potential block or goaltending.
The previous out of bounds is being challenged by Wichita State's head coach.
We'll step aside for 30 seconds. 49.5 left. USF up 14. Challenge unsuccessful for Paul Mills, so it will be USF basketball with 49 ticks left That's all that stands between them and their first American Conference tournament title.
And now it's about getting the ball in bounds and getting ready to shoot free throws. Be strong with the ball. Oh, Lord.
A little too much helium on that one from Isaiah Jones, but here he is across half court. And he's fouled and will go to the line.
You know, Rich, we've seen a physical game, but there are times when the action comes our way and you're standing right in front of it. You felt the physicality of that simple little trap on a different level. And I don't think it's possible to even convince people that this game is so intense. Every pass, every possession, Kenyon Giles trying to create space, the physicality of Wes Enos defensively. It's so intense for 40 minutes. I just don't think you fully appreciate it until you've played this game. And shoot, I played like 25, 30 years ago, and it's different today.
Jones good on the first one. This game eerily similar to the last time these teams played a little over a month ago. On February 11th, USF defeated Wichita State 66-58. Right now, this score 69-54. So the two lowest scoring games of the season for Wichita State turned in by the USF defense.
USF is just a tough team to scout and prep for, given how they can defend you. The shot blocking presence, really just a deterrent that is Isaiah Nelson. His activity, I don't know how you prepare for that. I don't know how you simulate that. But also the three-point shooting, Wes Enos and Joe Pinion, those guys can be lights out, and once they find it, if the game's in an up-and-down contest, they can hang a honey bun really fast. This game was different. Why? You got familiar opponents, and I think Wichita State understands the way we can compete in this game really is to grind it out, be physical, be tough. I think the job that South Florida did on Kenyon Giles is probably the most remarkable I've seen all year. And we had a struggle fest for Kenyon Giles at FAU. It was from that game on that Wichita State went on a tear. They beat USF in Tampa, and they're 13-2 since that game, and here they are. Can't say enough about what Wichita State's been able to do. Good basketball program, great place for hoops. You hope it continues.
They're going to ride an 11-game win streak into the NCAA tournament. Joe Lenardi predicting they're going to be a 12 seed. I feel bad for whoever that 5 seed is who draws the USF Bulls. They're going to count it down. 10 seconds left. Enos. It's academic at this point. And love wins again for the USF Bulls. History is made in Birmingham. For the first time in 36 years, the USF Bulls have won a conference tournament championship. And for the first time in 14 years, they're putting on their dancing shoes and going to the NCAA tournament. Wes Enos ends up leading all scorers with 19 points. Isaiah Nelson had 13 points, 6 rebounds, a few blocks, and a few steals. Mr. Blue Collar did it again.
You can't say enough about the job Brian Hudson's done with this program. It's a lot of responsibility to pick up where Amir left. And it's a remarkable program, but Brian Hodson has served it all very well.
Let's go on the court. Marilyn Payne with Isaiah Nelson.
Isaiah, you told me before the game that you took a lot of pride in your team's ability to defend your home in the paint. You outscored them down low by 4. What does it mean for this team to play this way?
Man, it means a lot, man. Man, I love these guys, man. The coaching staff, man, we work so hard, bro. We told everybody that we was going to come in year 1, and we was going to grind it. We was going to work hard. We was going to work harder than every team in the country, bro. And we did it, bro. I'm so proud of everybody.
How were your guards and you as a defender able to completely nullify Wichita State's long shots?
Man, man, these guys, man, I don't even know, man. It's so exciting, man. Our guards, man, they came ready. We had one job, and they said shut guys down, and our guards did an amazing job. Wes Enos killed guys, didn't let him get a shot off, man. I love these dudes, man.
South Florida is headed to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2012. Won a conference title now for the first time since 1990. What does it mean for you to be a part of this resurgence?
Man, it means a lot, man. Just got to stay down, trust God, bro. And you got to believe, man. That's the main thing. That's the main goal. You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in the 10. You got to believe, bro. Just believe.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. Let's fucking
Isaiah Nelson, the player of the year. Brian Hodson, the coach of the year. The USF Bulls, the team of the year in the American Conference. They win it, and they're going dancing. Final score once again, USF 70, Wichita State 55. For John Crispin, Marilyn Payne, and everyone at ESPN, I'm Rich Hollenberg. Let's go to SportsCenter.
This